Hi, everybody, and welcome into the Brownwood Lions Coaches Show on a warm Monday. Joined in the studio, and it's good to have Coach Sammy Burnett back in the studio. How are you, sir?
I'm great, and warm is the correct term. I want to apologize to you, Carl. Wednesday, when you called, I actually forgot. When we did the radio show, I was on the practice field surrounded by a bunch of quarterbacks, or one quarterback and a bunch of running backs, and I wasn't as prepared as I wanted to be. I was so engrossed in what I was doing right there, I forgot my sheet that had all my information on it. So I apologize for a poor radio show on my part.
No, it was fine, and I appreciate you doing that. You are a busy man.
No doubt about it.
Getting ready for the FCA AllStar Game on Saturday, and I know what happened in the final score, but just talk about that experience.
Oh, man. Number one, it was from dawn to dusk, that's for sure. We get up and coach's devotional was at 7:30, and then the kids came in while we were doing that and getting prepared for their day. Spent with them, we were there probably with the kids from somewhere around 8 to 10 every day. Had a lot of chapels and devotionals, opportunities for coaches to speak to kids and talk life. And man, I tell you what, it was a good week. It wasn't just a good week for the kids, it was a good week for the coaches. Boys and girls, we were there with the volleyball team, so we interacted with them a lot and had lunch with them and supper with them and things like that because they were playing at Wiley. And, man, it's sort of my cup of tea. I mean, just had chances to sit and talk to kids one-on-one and to get into their world and talk God to them and really be serious about that and get, try to help them understand, what's needed to jump into the next chapter of their lives and how precious life can be and just those kind of things. So I think, I was asked by several reporters after the game about the game, and I said, it wasn't about the game. That's just the icing on the cake for us, just to have the opportunity to build relationships with kids. When I look across the big country and all the teams that we play, all the teams that I watch, and to be able to select kids from those teams and to get to coach them and be a part of them for a week and get to know them and build relationships with them and exchange phone numbers and things like that was absolutely amazing. I enjoyed it to the hilt. It was a lot of work for everybody, but it was work well done and well worth it. And the game came down to defense. In all-star games, it's sort of the way it is. Your offense is slow to develop, and your defense picks it up a lot quicker. Boy, we had a great defense, let me tell you. And it was led by some boys from Blanket and May. Mr. Simpson and Mr. King did a great job for us.
He can suit up with anybody.
He's a man. Let me tell you, he's a man.
I asked Derek about him, and we watched him play a lot.
Ethan Sanchez was a linebacker for us from Bangs. Outstanding job by him. Just all in all, we represented really well. Even our kids, Jimmy Brown, dominated up front on offense as a tackle, and Kyron made his presence known. He made some big hits in that game, and Rashad made some big one-on-one plays and batted balls down that people thought were going to be big plays for him. So I was pleased with our kids. But like I said, I told them it's just one more opportunity for me to get to be with them and then also to build relationships and talk to parents after the game and come up and, share their gratitude for what we did. But in return, us to be able to reciprocate the fact that we got as much out of it as their kid did. And all in all, it was an awesome week. And on top of that, we go to Clyde for the Jim Ned State qualifier, and I'm trying to keep touch and trying to do what I'm supposed to do. And, we beat a Sanger team that I thought was pretty good. Saw some of their scores earlier in qualifiers, and I think Coach Howard and Coach Mauser went early to watch them, so they're a pretty good group. And I know Stuckley could probably tell us a bit more because he was there, but sort of lit them up, touchdown, 3 and out, touchdown, 3 and out, just sort of got after it and set the tone for the way that our kids wanted to play early. And beat them, I think 33-14, and then turn around and play Clyde. And, it's one of those games that you're probably going to get in, and got up on them. And Coach Jones told me he had an opportunity to let some of the younger kids play that weren't getting as much playing time. That wound up being a 28-14 game victory for us. And then, of course, you put those gloves on and you bow your neck up and know you have an opportunity to qualify one time to go to College Station and compete in the 21st state qualifying tournament and our state tournament, not qualifying tournament, state tournament. And who do they have to face? None other than the Stephenville Yellow Jackets. And our kids bowed their neck. We talked about it. It's awesome when you see something that you talk to kids about come to fruition, and the fact that we told our kids, in all the tournaments that we're 1-2, and we're dropping games we shouldn't. You're going to have to win a big game. There's going to be a game. You're going to have to figure out a way to win the big game. And all in all is against Stephenville, down 24-20, late, 3 minutes left in the game, and 3rd and 15. Elias comes up with a big ball from Chance and scores, and then have to bat a ball down the last play of the game to win it is exactly the type of game that we had talked to our kids about. And I didn't get to see it, but talked to coaches, and then, of course, texting kids afterwards, congratulating them and seeing the excitement that they had, and the fact that they didn't back down from a group that likes to try to bully. Mm-hmm. They weren't going to be bullied, and it's nice to see that fighter spirit step up and say, I won't be pushed around. I will take control of my destiny, and I will not allow you to affect it. And that's what they did. So extremely pleased when I got that news. And what's ironic is I got it from Coach Doty, because he was keeping track of it. And I was actually trying to do what I was supposed to do with our kids and stay on course there. And I knew I would get response later from one of our coaches, but he come up to me and told me that I needed to get a room. I was out of it, of course. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, you need to call the Hampton Inn, get your room in College Station. I'm like, then I knew what happened. So I called coaches, and they filled me in and told me about the excitement. So all in all, very tired, but an awesome, great week for me, and I think for some kids in our surrounding area, and also for the Brownwood Lions and qualifying. And we'll head next Thursday, Friday, and see if we can't win some games at the 7-on-7 state championship.
Yeah, the 24th and 25th. Exciting win over Stephenville, and I saw a lot of videos, saw a lot of pictures, a little hooping and hollering. And
yeah, a lot of hooping and hollering.
Time.
Man, it's hard to win, and you got to celebrate those wins. And our kids were excited. And like I said, I didn't get to sit, but I talked to every coach, and they expressed to me how excited our kids were. And I'm thankful of that, And even, to a point where was talking about our kids and the way that they were sort of being bullied and the way that they were talked to or whatever, and our kids didn't back down. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to put your hands up and start swinging. It's either fight or flight, and I know good and well our boys stepped up and started swinging and came up with a W, so it's nice.
You did have a whirlwind week with FCA, and then, of course, 7-on-7. I know you weren't there, but FCA. Then you got to go to the NASCAR races on Sunday night.
I sure did, thanks to Star and Mitch and KOXE and you. We got to go to the races. I promised my brother and his son Case and some of his friends and my niece Michelle that I would take them to the race, that we were given some tickets to go. And so we loaded up, and we had one extra ticket. Actually, one of the young men that was in the Metroplex that's friends of my brother's daughter wasn't able to come, so I called a buddy that I worked with for a long time and asked him if he wanted to run over and join us, and he did. So we gave him the whole experience. We got there as soon as we could get there early. We cooked out for him, made sausage wraps, and made some stuffed jalapenos and things like that. And, man, I bet we drank a case of water between the five of us, or six of us actually. But I tell you what we didn't bring, and that was our tent. It was hot. Let me tell you, it was hot. Best thing I think I had all day was the green rag with that they stuck in the ice water that they were passing out to people in the stands. It was so hot, but boy, that was refreshing. But oh man, it was a great time.
And Star's itching for you to tell everybody who won.
I tell you what, it was Kyle Larson, and he's just done what he's done all year. That's his fourth win, I think. He's done what he's done all year. Man, his car is fast, and he's an outstanding driver. It doesn't matter what track he's on, whether it's dirt, whether it's a road course, whether it's a half mile, whether it's a 2 mile, whether it's a short track. That dude can drive. And like him a lot. And Hendricks Motorsports, boy, they're tearing it up this year. When I first got into it, I got into it when Joe Gibbs Racing and Kyle Busch and some of the guys that aren't even there anymore that have retired, they were, sort of owning the tracks. And right now Hendricks is in charge, and they're taking names. And but it was a neat format. It was a neat race. I got to spend it with family and friends, and I appreciate y'all for allowing us to do that. And it was a great day. I got home at about 2:30 this morning, and it is what it is. Got up and go to work this morning and got to greet the kids. We still have outstanding numbers right now, which I'm pleased with. It's extremely hot out there, so for those kids to keep coming back, and we told them day one's important, and we're glad you're here, but we want to see you day 30. and our kids are responding to that. We got a lot of camps going on. We got basketball camp going on this week for the boys. We also have a soccer camp going on this week, so we have kids out with that. We have some testing being done, so we have kids out doing those summer testing, and we still have great numbers, boys and girls, so I'm really pleased with what's happening right now.
Talking about the summer conditioning program, good to see all of that. And, man, I'm glad you enjoyed your weekend. We have some camps today and tomorrow. Boys basketball
camp and then soccer camp.
Yeah, so I think the boys basketball today through Wednesday. Soccer camp is tomorrow through Thursday.
That's
All
right.
Gordonwood Stadium, I believe.
And great numbers today at the camp, boys
Awesome.
camp. Yep, good numbers. And it's in the air conditioning, and I wanted to stay in there with them, but I can't do that. But, man, we had some good numbers, some good-looking kids, and Coach Parker's a stud.
Yeah. He's going to be great, I think.
There ain't no doubt about it.
I really appreciate him and what he's doing for this program,
Me
although
too.
he hasn't even stepped on the court as far as a coach goes yet, but he's already made some headlines and done some great things.
Yeah, and I hopefully maybe Wednesday I'll have some word on. We still have a couple of coaching spots that are open that we've offered. Just waiting for some paperwork stuff to happen and get done. Once that happens, I will release those to the radio station and the community, and I'm excited.
I am
really
too.
excited about some. You know, you always have transition. You always have change. People have to move for family reasons. Coach Rabb is a young man that just left us. Coached our quarterbacks, and he's a single man, has a girlfriend in the Metroplex, and I got an opportunity to go to Allen and coach there, and he's gonna make a lot of money.
Oh,
and
wow.
He's gonna be around his significant other, so you can't blame people or not people for doing that. So he's left us, and we're gonna fill that position soon, and had junior high position open. So, that's just part of it, transition. You have turnover sometime, and it never fails. Every time that we have a loss, I'm always concerned and worried about that, but the Lord always takes care of us, and it's always in His plan, and He just put those puzzles in place. And you look back 3 years down the line, you're like, man, you remember when this happened or that happened? But that's sort of how our coaching staff has evolved. It's just been, the Lord's put His hand on everything, and He's making everything work. It's just like that video game. He's pushing the buttons, and we're making it happen. So really pleased with the people that are coming in, especially if we get them a contract and get that done. Hope to get that this week, and I'll be more than happy to introduce them to y'all and let the community meet them, and I'm excited.
Let's bring in, when you get a chance, maybe Michael, the new soccer boys coach, when you get a chance.
As soon as we can get him to town. He's still in Weatherford,
right,
doing his thing. But, man, I've had some calls from some community people or text messages congratulating us on that hire. I mean, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
Another young man that we sort of recruited with Coach Mosqueda, honestly, asking for help with her, and I talked to some people in the community about, if you know of anybody and if you can, help me reach out to some people, and we were able to contact Michael Westerman, and man, it was a goal of his, and with him actually where he was working in a facility for troubled youth, he was implementing and installing a soccer program, and trying to teach them a trade that that they could learn some discipline and self-esteem and that kind of stuff, and it just shows you that his character, that his willingness to go work with young people that really need attention, and then also giving them a skill that they can use to learn life lessons through soccer. So for us to have an opportunity to get him and for that thing to happen was big, and I'm excited about the direction our boys soccer program.
Well, both soccer programs, I think maybe finally some stability there.
Yes.
Went through a lot of coaches the last few years.
Yeah,
but,
no doubt about it. And a lot of times, and here you got to have a connection for people to want to come, and both Alexis and Michael have connection to Brownwood. They both played here, that kind of stuff. Howard Payne, and to have them back will give our group stability. And I'm excited about that stability. You need that.
All right. Maybe Wednesday we'll have some news on these others.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk. I know there's a couple of other things you want to talk about on Wednesday. Great show today. Is there anything we haven't covered today?
Not that I know of. Let's make sure we thank those that make this show possible. Auto Glass Magic, Avalon Custom Homes, Burner Auto Group, Syntex Body and Paint, Syntex Equipment Sales, Citizens National Bank, Dan Hill Containers, Dr. Bond Young, Dr. Pepper Bottling Company, Edward Jones Investments, Hendrick Medical, Howery Enterprises, Humphrey Peets, Landmark Life, MC Bank, Painter and Johnson Associates, Smith and Sharp Agency, Sonic Drive-In, Stanley Chrysler, Texas Bank, Weldon Wilson Electric, Western Bank, and Willie's Teas.
Great show today, Coach. I appreciate you as always. Visit again on Wednesday.
You bet. Have a great day, Brownwood.
And thanks to our producer, engineer, Star behind all
Yes,
of the
ma'am.
dials.
Where's that picture, Star?
M&M's?
No,
What?
I figured you'd throw a Larson number 5 up there somewhere.
5. See, you should be a Kyle Larson fan.
I am a
because
Kyle
he's
Larson
number
fan.
5.
I am. I'm a Chase Elliott fan. I like Hendrick Motorsports. I like a lot of them, but I still got to root for Kyle. That's my number 1 dude. But
Oh, brother. The other Kyle.
Boo-hoo, Kyle behind.
I'll tell you this, Star, before we cut this thing out. There's a lot of rowdy people in Texas because I saw a whole lot of 18s in the stands.
I know, there are. Yep.
He's got a lot of fans.
He does,
There's no
especially in
doubt.
Texas because we're rowdy a bunch.
Rowdy. Just like Kyle Busch, I'm telling you. All right, Coach, we'll see you Wednesday.
You bet.
Brownwood Lions head football coach, athletic director Savvy Burnett here on the Coaches Show every Monday and Wednesday here on KOXC and video streamed at KOXC.com and the KOXC KBWD Facebook page.